In this video, we are going to look at the English exam in the Unified State Exam of Russia. And in particular, we're going to focus on the speaking part, Task 2, which is to study a picture, an advertisement. You're considering visiting a museum and you would like to get more information. In 1.5 minutes, you are to ask 5 direct questions to find out the following information: location, opening hours, prices for groups, if they have a guided tour, and discounts for students. So I'm going to walk you through how to prepare for this and how to score well. But before we get to the questions, let's discuss the method or approach that I'll be taking. First of all, the test method. We will associate key question words with the information needed or requested. In particular, where, who, what or which, and when or what time are the most common question words that you'll likely encounter. Why and how are the other 2 main question words, but are less common in this particular exam. Now, the teaching method in this video. I will list the most basic questions first and move to the more difficult constructions. The reason for this is that those upper level students can have the opportunity to ask for this information in less common or more sophisticated ways and perhaps score higher on the exam. So let's begin. Number 1, location. Location is associated with where. Where is something located? In the test, they ask about the location of the museum. So we can say, or we can ask, where's the museum? Or, where is the museum located? And if you want, you can repeat after me for practice. Or more advanced, where can I find the museum? Or a less common construction, can you give me directions to the museum? Do you have your own question that you're not sure about? If so, write it to me in the comments. Next are opening hours, and we associate the word when with this bit of information. What are our options for devising a question? When is the museum open? Or, when does the museum open today? Or, what time does the museum open today? Please note that you don't always have to use the proper noun museum, but use it if people are not sure what you're talking about. If they are sure, you can use it instead. Next, we can ask, when does the museum close today? This is a more creative approach or question, but perhaps risky from a testing perspective since we don't have the time that it opens. What are the museum's hours of operation? This is a more formal question. Thirdly, prices. Normally, you would ask, how much are tickets? But here, we want to know about group prices. So you must ask if they have any. Do you have any group prices to the museum? Now in English, we have another more common word for prices, discount. So we can ask, is there a group discount to the museum? And a follow-up question, though it is not necessary for the exam, might look like this. If so, what is the minimum number of people needed? If so means if yes. And since we are talking about prices, it makes sense to continue the discussion with student discounts. So, number 4, discounts for students. Are there discounts for students? Or, are there student discounts? A more creative approach might be, is there a discount for those in school? Or, is there a discount for those still studying? This is interesting because it also includes those at university. Because in the US, school can mean university, but nowhere else does it have that connotation. Finally, guided tours. Are there any guided tours of the museum? Any here is optional. If you've mentioned museum several times, it's probably not necessary at this point to repeat it. Simply ask, are there guided tours? Does the museum have guided tours? Note the different construction but the same meaning. Can I get a guided tour of the museum? Here we use the modal verb can. We can also use could, which is slightly more polite. Could I get a guided tour of the museum? Some of you watching this video may have questions. If so, write them below in the comments. If you like this video, tell your friends who are planning to take this exam about it. And let's prepare the ЕГЭ together.